Yes, as
Susie,
I'm
yeah.
sure everybody is well aware at this point, due to the federal shutdown, SNAP benefits will not be issued for November. So I am proud that our Mayor Lurie, our Board of Supervisors, in partnership with Crankstart Foundation, is able to activate an emergency response to be able to help the 112 San Franciscans who rely on CalFresh every month to put food on the table. We are launching a emergency gift card distribution for every CalFresh household in San Francisco. And the way it will work is that this is in partnership with the San Francisco Marine Food Bank. Thank you to the food bank for stepping up. And a vendor called GiveCard. We will be mailing every CalFresh recipient a letter that will explain that this is not a replacement dollar for dollar for your CalFresh. There will be varying amounts of benefit levels depending on family size. So we're trying to approximate as best we can, one
Which,
person, two
oh,
person
okay.
versus, three, 5 person household, that they will receive a gift card that they will activate through a special code that they will get in the mail. It'll work like a virtual card, like any kind of virtual gift card. There will also be an option for people who want a physical card to be able to call a number and say, you know what, I need a physical card, please mail it, and provide the mailing address for that. And this will be a one-time distribution. And to cover November benefits, we are working to send this letter out next week. It will definitely be next week. We're just not sure if it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it'll be next week. Um, we can provide those details as soon as we have them. The call to action in terms of the providers and all of our partners is to check your mail, that this is coming, check your mail. We also have information that we're updating on our website. We simultaneously, we recognize that we have many vulnerable San Franciscans who use general delivery. Many of them are experiencing homelessness. We are concerned that they will not check their mail. And so we are also developing an in-person pickup strategy for the cards at 1235 Mission for a subset of clients who use general delivery as their mailing address. Um, Let me think if I have forgotten anything. The money that was approved by unanimously by the Board of Supervisors is $9.1 million, and this money was set aside specifically in this year's budget for emergencies that arise from the federal government. So there's a reserve fund that was developed in anticipation of emergencies like this, and so this was a good use to be able to say that we can draw from that fund and use it to support our CalFresh households. Very grateful to the Crankstart Foundation who stepped up in record time to partner with us, and they are also providing $9 million in funding for this. So we in terms of the approach and while we took this approach as opposed to other approaches of sort of extending certain our grants with CBO providers, is that we wanted to do what would mimic most people's receipt of CalFresh. And so we wanted something that is like cash, like CalFresh. It can only be used in grocery stores. Similar restrictions in terms of alcohol and tobacco. But this was also really the only strategy that we could activate in a matter of days. So that was also part of it. What could we do quickly to make sure that, in the next few days, people will actually have money to put food on the table? So I see that there's a lot of questions I'm hearing. So let's see.
Yeah, let's open it up for the Food Security Task Force first, and then
No,
we
it
can
doesn't. They will
answer.
not count against eligibility for any benefits. Thank you for that question. Good one.
Food Security Task Force members, questions. So, Hannah from Meals on Wheels.
Hi, yes.
So we serve homebound seniors, and many of them struggle with reading the materials that they receive in the mail, if they even get them. And then I'm, you know, envisioning a lot of challenges, technical challenges, activating the cards. Does HSA have a plan for offering technical assistance to those types of communities?
Yeah, so we're partnering with the ADRCs to be able to help seniors and people with disabilities who need additional assistance activating the card. We're very aware of that challenge, and um, yeah, so that we're communicating to those partners and making them available, and their contact information for the ADRCs will be included in the letter.
Thank you.
Just a reminder for those that are new to the Food Security Task Force, the presenters, we ask, task force can give comments and ask questions, and then it's open for public comment. Public comment, just a reminder that we often have questions that are kindly responded to by the presenter, but the presenter is not required to answer questions, and depending on time and all of that. So just a friendly reminder to those, and that's the rules around public meetings in San Francisco. So Jennifer.
Hi, thanks so much. I so appreciate that we have this geared up for November, and you might have said it. Are there plans being in the works for if this goes through December, January, etc.?
Jennifer, we're right now we're planning for just this month. We have heard that there will be action at the federal level. Of course, we can't predict, but we have heard that it will not go beyond November. And yeah, so this is the strategy for now. It's an emergency sort of response strategy. We all hope, obviously, it will not go beyond.
Thank you.
I should also say, I don't know any other county or state that is doing an activation at this scale with every single household in the caseload, and that it is targeting the actual recipients. There are other strategies that's adding money to food banks and other CBOs doing amazing work, but with no guarantee that that support is going directly to CalFresh recipients. And so this is really, a pretty unusual effort. Other questions?
Preeti.
Thank you, Cece. This is, a little bit of a relief. I mean, I know it's not going to match the amount, but this is that we're getting a lot of questions over at the WIC side too, and so this is really the much needed relief to hear. My question is more technical around just what happens with CalFresh benefits themselves. Like, are they continuing? Because we want to make sure that once, hopefully this is over soon, but we don't want people to fall through the cracks where they're not coming back to reapply or apply for benefits. Are you going to continue enrolling new participants? Just wanted to make sure that.
Preeti, thank you so much for asking that question. We will continue to enroll people through, enrollment, or we're enrolling people in November. If they enroll in November, their benefits will be paused. They won't get benefits. People will receive retroactive benefits once the federal government reopens, but absolutely people can still apply. And if people still have money on their EBT cards, it's still you can still use them for the month of November and onward. It's just that there's not additional money being added from the federal government.
I don't even know if we're having candy tomorrow because my supervisor had to wait for Natalia.
Oh no, can you please mute your microphone?
She didn't get back until Monday. She didn't even approve it on.
Thank you. All right, Katie.
Yeah, I just want to recognize the city's work and appreciate the efforts that have gone into planning this. I can't imagine that was a small feat by any means. So thank you. Thank you for all the work that has happened so far. You had mentioned some, things that were going to go out in the mail to recipients. Do you have some, signage that we can post within agencies where our clients are utilizing these benefits to give direction, on what will happen? And can you share that with this group?
Katie, we don't have signage yet. We're working on getting messages out to all of our staff, honestly, and see all of our CBO partners and the board. But if there are specific requests that you have, please put them in the chat and like things like that, or email me, and then we're sort of ticking through on the comms end prioritizing what we can get out when. We do have signage. I know that we're working at it for our service centers. So I imagine we could replicate that for you guys. And I know many of you, including Project Open Hand, were really with us in the pandemic, and it feels a little like that in terms of the rapid, how rapid we're trying to do this. But yes, please let me know what you guys need. And I can't promise it, but I will do the best that I can. Yes, of course, the letters that clients will receive will be in their language of record for their benefits.
Right. And Susie, we can also use this with our listserv to get anything out too.
Okay. Yeah, if you're taking notes and could send it, obviously, that would be helpful.
Great. Jennifer.
Thanks. Technical question, Susie. You mentioned retroactive payment, and so in theory, once it starts up again, people will get their money for November.
That is our understanding. This is something that they are entitled to. So we'll be giving a double benefit for November. We're okay with that.
Susie, do we know the time frame that we expect folks to receive those cards? I know that they normally get their benefits for the 1st through the 10th.
Yes. And so we are working diligently to figure out exactly what day that we could do the mailing. And I will get back to you. It will be next week, but whether it is Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it'll be probably one of those. Part of it is like whether our mailroom can work over the weekend. So there's logistical questions and translation. I mean, we can't send it out until we have it all translated. So I will let you know as soon as we know what the mail date is. And in terms of 1235 Mission, we are reserving 1235 Mission for pickup for a physical card for people who use general delivery box office as their mailing address, because that is a population we're particularly concerned about. If anyone else wants a physical card, there's a number that they will be able to call on the letter that they can request a physical card. Sure, I can send Sissy, if you can just capture some of these requests in terms of, Jenna, I saw the request about a sample letter. Yep, we could do that. If you could just capture some of the asks, we can follow up.
For sure. Yeah. And there was a question earlier, Susie, that's a little more complicated around the whether this gift card counts as income and be counted against their...
No, it will not. No.
Thank you. So it does not. So that's a very clear...
Yeah.
No. Great. Jennifer. Sorry, Marion, I see you. I just, we're doing task force members first. My apologies. Oh, wait, Marion. Oh, my God. I am my bad. This is Sissy Bonita being really bad. Marion Sanders, I should have introduced you at the beginning. This is our HSH representative, who's first term on the Food Security Task Force, and my deep apologies. Great to see you, and thank you for being persistent with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Marion Sanders, Chief Deputy Director at HSH. Susie, I'm sure that our departments are going to be working together around this. And obviously my purview is people experiencing homelessness. Anything that you can say related to people who are street-based homeless, and any coordination with the neighborhood street teams around getting the message out about this, that's one question. The
Can I
second
answer one at a
question.
time? Because my memory is
Sure.
short
Yep.
term at this
Go for
point.
it. Go for it.
Marion, I spoke to Emily earlier today. Absolutely. We want to partner with the street teams, with HOT, with the shelter system to let them know that this is coming, to check their mail. I mean, if they can check the mail, and we're still, let me step back. I'm still confirming whether or not it's going to be one or the other for the people with general delivery, whether it's either a letter or in person. We're working with the vendor, and we obviously have to make sure that there's no, that we minimize the risk of fraud. So I will let you know if it's one or the other, but we will definitely be partnering with HSH to get the word out to community and to the street teams that this is available. Thank you for raising it.
Yep, no problem. And then the second question is related to accessibility. So people with disabilities that, maybe have mobility issues, any other issues that would, how do you all consider that? And if there are any kind of plans in place to make sure that we're considering that and those folks have access to this benefit?
Yeah, I mean, I think in partnering with the ADRCs, sort of to help specifically that population, if someone has an authorized representative, then the authorized rep would get the letter. And so that's one strategy. Really we're mimicking CalFresh, the way SNAP benefits work now. And so in terms of like, if they have an IHSS provider that helps them go grocery shopping, like all of those systems are still in place. It's just, yeah.
Okay, I think that's great. I think it's just helpful for folks to understand that that's we're covering all those bases in the same ways we always have. Okay.
Susie, might you cover just some of the customer service plans for if people have questions?
So on the letter, they will be getting the customer service line for Give Card, our vendor partner, and all questions regarding like activation, I want a physical card, anything about the card itself. The vendor will be, they have call center available. I think they said 24/7, but I can confirm, to be able to answer questions, field questions. They have multilingual capabilities. So anything card related questions should really go to them. If someone is a CalFresh recipient, well, yeah, I think anything card related should really go to them.
Super. Any more questions, comments from the Food Security Task Force members? And we'll open it up for public comment. I know we have been trying to get to some of the comments in the chat already. Hi. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let's open it up for public comment on this topic. Hello, Melanie.
Hi, thank you so much. Just wondering where those of us who are not on the task force, I know there's like the sample letter, the messaging, the promo materials. Is there a central place that we could either access that or get onto a mailing list to receive those? I would love, to be able to support our clients that in accessing. So just trying to get my hands on those.
Yeah, so Melanie, we will share with the DOS network any materials. I mean, we're gonna have a letter that's gonna go out to all of our CBO partners about that this is happening. In terms of sample letter, I'll see if we can put that up on our website. It's a little strange, but let me think about that in terms of a sample material. But we will, if you aren't signed up to receive information from HSA as a CBO partner, I can give you the link to how to do that. But also we'll be sharing it with the DOS network via OCP and Mike.
Thank you so much.
See, I wonder if there's a way to cross kind of promote the information across multiple city departments, if so we can all post it on all of our websites in a way to just kind of broaden that.
Yeah, and we really want to be sending people to our website that has the basic information and that be sort of the source of truth. So I'll see if the website that we're putting up is live yet, but if it's not, we can get that to you.
Elena.
Hi, Eliana Binder, Policy Director with Glide. I just had a couple questions about how the card will work in terms of will it work anywhere an EBT card would work, including like corner stores that accept EBT or farmers markets. A lot of people obviously, there's market match and things like that. And then also wondering about if we will have, it sounds like maybe this will be shared out, but access to information about the 1235 mission in person option, like what the hours would be, so that we can report that to clients who might not get the letter or not have gotten a general delivery, things like that, so we can tell them what to do. And also similar for the Give Card customer service line, if providers could have that number, so then we could just directly tell clients that if they're having issues with getting the letter. Thank you.
Sure, I am noting that. It can be, the card can be used at any grocery store. I assume corner stores as well, any EBT type store. I can double check to make sure, but that's my understanding. The farmers market is a good question. We hadn't actually thought of that, to be honest, in our, planning a program for 82,000 households in 24 hours. So let me think about that and see. I'm not sure. I think that might be more complicated because the farmers, yeah, I'm not sure. Let me get back to you.
Hey, Imani.
Hi, my name is Imani Austin. I'm Assistant Director of Operations for Senior Center of Unlock. And I had a question in relation to ADRC. So since there will be an influx of additional supports, when have we communicated or have we already communicated this information to ADRC teams so that they can also prepare for the additional supports that they'll need to provide?
Yeah, we're doing that through OCP. I don't yet know if it has been communicated, but before the letters go out, we absolutely make sure that you're communicated and have all the information that you guys need.
Okay, thank you so much.
Nick.
Thank you. Nick Wood, Edgewood Family Resource Center. Quick question regarding if advocates or case managers would be able to pick up these cards from 1235 Mission on a client's behalf.
If they're an authorized rep, yes, but otherwise we can't have other people picking up the cards because we need our verification, date of birth, social. We would run the risk of fraud if we let other people pick up the cards. I mean, I know obviously you guys are not going to do that, but we have to be really mindful of controls. So if you're an authorized rep, yes, but otherwise, no.
Completely understood. And just to clarify, an authorized representative would be, if you could clarify, please.
Yeah, so when you apply for benefits or receive benefits, you can sign up if the client says, I need someone to basically act on my behalf. Vis-a-vis benefit transactions and questions and speak on behalf and get something like this on behalf of the client, then you'll sort of the client will sign a documentation that says you're my authorized representative, and therefore our eligibility workers know, okay, I can talk to Nick about my benefits and disclose information and work on behalf of that client. So this is sort of it is if you are authorized, if you've signed up, or if you want to sign up to be an authorized representative and have client permission, then you would be able to pick up on behalf of your client.
Thank you.
Hey, Marnie.
Hi, Marnie Regan from Larkin Street Youth Services and co-chair of HESPA. Just want to put a plug out there for the folks living in RVs who are just sort of like vehicularly unhoused, a lot of these folks are going to be sort of upended on November 1st when the ordinance goes into effect. And I just want to make sure that that SF Hot outreach teams are ensuring that this is communicated, because the RV folks are in various stages of like being either referred out, or there are like this whole process is like sort of winding its way, and then the snap cuts like sort of slammed on top of them. And just want to put this plug in for outreach to make sure to really communicate. A lot of them are families, but there's also single adults, and there might be some lack of clarity of whether they. Thank you, Marion. You're awesome. And Marion, I've just put a note in there also. A lot of HSH partners are not HSA partners, so I really appreciate you mentioning the cross-pollination communication.
Yeah, Marnie, I already spoke to Emily Cohen earlier today, and we absolutely, as comms, as head of comms at HSH, we will absolutely be making sure that HSH gets the message out to all of the providers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Christine.
This is just another question. I'm Christine Farron from FoodWise. It's about farmers markets and the regular use of EBT and Market Match, and whether the cards will be able to synchronize with that system. We're discussing creating an emergency temporary script, just because the large volume of shoppers who come to our markets will take the minimum amount out of their CalFresh account to get the maximum Market Match. And I'm not seeing how that's going to be possible with these cards. I realize the cards can't fix every problem and they're the great next step, but I'm just curious if there's any discussion right now.
I mean, and you would know better than me, but what needs to happen in order for the vendors to be able to use the Market Match program? I don't see that happening in the next 3 days. I will put that question out, but unfortunately, I don't think it would be able to use them in Market Match.
Veronica.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Hi, Susie. A couple of questions. First is, what were the challenges to add the funds to your HSA budget and then just upload them to these people's EBT cards that you're already in your system? And then two, you mentioned that you're communicating with partners. Will there be a list of those partners by neighborhoods you're working with? So for those of us like the San Francisco African American Faith-Based Coalition, who is not one of your contracted partners, we won't get that information. So how will we know? Because we do know that this is supplemental, and these families and people are still getting additional resources from organizations like ours and many others represented on this call.
Yeah, Veronica, thank you so much for the question. On the first question, why can't we just upload the money to the EBT card? Because the money goes directly from the U.S. Treasurer to the EBT vendor. So even if the state of California said we're going to cover the $5.1 billion cost to help everybody be whole and upload the money, they couldn't. It's literally a contract directly between the treasurer and the EBT. So we can't technically do that. That would have been my first choice. Trust me.
Right. No, I was just like, wow, this is a lot of extra work when they already got a card. And I know how
tell me about it, my friend.
Yes.
And then on your second question, we have a newsletter that's not just for our grantees, but we have much broader reach. I will put in the chat how to join our newsletter, so that you don't have to be an HSA grantee to be a CBO organization that gets information from us. And in fact, many of the HSH, we've encouraged like HSH grantees and partners across the city to be on our newsletter, because it's the way we update folks. There's a lot of changes coming to state and federal benefits. We're actually doing a webinar in November. Sissy, I don't know, I assume that information has been shared with this group. I know Food Security Task Force got it, but we have a webinar coming up in November about the state and federal changes that are coming down the pipe. And that goes out into our entire network, whether or not you are a grant partner with us.
And this newsletter is online and it's live. So as things are changing, this newsletter gets or is it a monthly? I need
Yeah,
to know how.
So the newsletter is the way we communicate with partners, and the cadence, I think we do it quarterly. I can double check with our comms department, but when we have like, oh, we're having a webinar, sign up, like we have a specific call out to the entire group. So
No,
I can find out the
appreciate that.
cadence. I don't know offhand how often they send out the newsletter, but definitely can get you on that. And we'll be using, as we've said, like a variety of different kind of tentacles to get this information out, not just
Right, because we're in a crisis, and I want to be able to articulate and be in alignment with what I'm hearing you say when we're talking to community members, that we're also delivering food as an offset. I don't want to give wrong information, but I want to be able to have a live or something current that I can say, I don't know, but let me find that out to you, whatever. So we're all on the same page.
Absolutely. And Food Security Task Force is, I'm echoing, is on our listserv. So anything we send out to our, our network will include Food Security Task Force. And so you will
Oh,
definitely.
good. I'll hang out here. Just let me know when you guys are ready. Thank you so much.
Can you please, good, great. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I want to reach out to Sissy if I need more questions. We're just on the ground, and I want to be very authentic as this crisis is gonna, and as they said today at the press release, it's gonna get worse. So thank you.
Okay, there's a quick question. In the event of a loss of the card or fund in the card, is it safe to say that there's no replacement? Oh, Susie, I'm sorry, you're muted.
People are asking if they lose the card, is there a replacement?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, it's a one-time distribution.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other comments? I'm looking in the chat. I'm not seeing hands up. Elena.
Hi, sorry if I'm not supposed to comment again, but I just wanted to raise, it's sort of a technical, complicated thing, but there are people who are CFAP recipients who have because of documentation or citizenship issues, technically aren't CalFresh recipients, but to them, it's like they're CalFresh recipients. It's just a different source of funding from the state, but they're also being impacted because of the cards and not getting their money as usual either. But I wasn't sure within HSA system and who's getting, letters and who's included in this, whether they would be included or if we even know. But I just wanted to flag that.
Okay.
Susie, you're muted.
It's the CalFresh caseload. Oh, hi, Fiona. It's a good question. And I mean, in terms of CFAT, isn't that directly through the state? Sorry, I'm now live chatting questions to my colleague Fiona. Do we administer that, or is it directly through the state?
I think it comes through the state, but I could double check, but I'm pretty sure the data we're pulling will include those people. We count them as CalFresh in our system.
Okay.
I don't want to say that as the be all end all, but I can double check it with
Okay. We'll double check that. Thanks for the question. It's a really good one.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was hoping, is that in our system, they're just CalFresh and then maybe it's okay. But thank you.
Yeah, let me double check. Thanks for the question, Elena.
Hey, I think that's it for public comment. Again, quick question for you, Susie. I know that there's a webinar about the other CalFresh changes that are happening. I mean, it's just constantly stuff happening. But I know that people will be concerned about the next, if the government shutdown continues, where's the next set of money coming from? Will that be addressed in that particular webinar? Is there another, because the CBOs are the front lines for all of these, folks coming in, and not only for the food support, but also the human support around not knowing where your, money is for food on the table. So any information anytime soon is super helpful.
Whatever the most up-to-date information we have as of when the webinar is, we will absolutely be sharing anything new. So, we've actually already translated those materials. We're sort of in rapidly preparing our final materials for that as well. But anything new that we hear between now and then, if there is an additional program that we have news to share about, absolutely, we will include that information in the webinar.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you guys for letting me come, and thank you for the partnership and the work that each of you do on the ground to help address food insecurity in our city. We are forever grateful, and it's through the partnerships with all of you that we make this work happen. So thanks again for having me.
Well, Susie, the big thank you is to you and all your staff for all this work, and the whole community coming together to work together on this. So much appreciation, as you can see all the way through here. So much appreciated. And thank you for taking the time and being so clear with your answers. It's really appreciated. And we'll try to push out and get out this information so that we're all saying the same things to our folks that are certainly concerned about what's going on.
Sissy, for the recording of this meeting, I don't know how quickly you guys post it, but it would be helpful if we could post it quickly so that we can use it to develop some documents to use in our areas.
Yeah, be great.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm cognizant of time. Nick, do you have something very quick?
Yes, quick question. Just do we know or have any word if school lunches are affected currently?
Why? That's the next
great segue.
Great segue to the next question. Thank you for that. So we're wrapping up this section. Thank you all for your input and questions. And again, Susie, thank you for being so gracious and with all of this. We're going to move into section number 6. CalFresh delays and changes, the discussion of situational status, potential impacts, planning, and response. And again, this was for task force members and members of the community. We're going to start off with some updates from our task force members. I mean, luckily the situational status is what Susie just went over. So that there is some mitigation for this month for CalFresh recipients via another card that will be issued to folks in different sorts of ways. Other sorts of responses, I know people will be coming to everyone with lots of questions, still lots of concerns, and then also concerns about what happens in December. So Jennifer, did you want to start with, I know you had some plans you wanted to share with what's happening at the Unified School District.
And Sissy, to let you know, I put the the link to sign up for our newsletter in the chat. So I just wanted to point that out so you can do that. Sorry, Jennifer.
Perfect.
Take it away.
No, you're perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Labar with San Francisco Unified, and we are very fortunate that the funding for our universal meal program for breakfast and lunch for all of our schools continues. We did receive word yesterday from the California Department of Education that they have received the amount of money for November reimbursements as well. So that's really good news. I'm assuming that our friends at California Department of Social Services, who help us with the Child and Adult Care Food Program, most likely received their November allocation too. So we're very pleased to share that with you. One thing that you all could do is remind your families that all children, regardless of income, receive free breakfast and lunch at our schools. And then most of our schools also have after-school supper programs. Where we're going to have a change and an attempt to provide additional support is we're going to let our families know that starting on Monday, all children 18 years and younger, regardless of their enrollment at that particular school, are going to be welcome into our after-school supper programs. We're going to share those locations as well as the serving times. So that's going to be made available. That's what we're able to do right now within the confines of all of the rules and regulations, both by United States Department of Ed, or Agriculture rather, and CDE. We are trying to see if we can do more, but this is what we can do right now and work within the arcane rules. We will let our families know that they have to eat at the school site. We cannot send food home. with the exception of one piece of fruit or one shelf-stable item from each meal. So we'll continue to let folks know about that. So it's much different. We don't have all the waivers that we did during COVID. And so food has to be consumed at the physical location. As we continue to go through this process, we're trying to see what else we can do, but that's what we can do right now.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great work with that. That's really, really helpful. Other Food Security Task Force. Other organizations plan. Yeah, Noriko.
Thanks, Sissy. The food bank just it came up with their plans of response in the, with everything going on. So right now we are inquiring with our partner network to see if there's increased capacity within our pantries to serve more people. We're also offering agency drive-through for any partner organization and non-partner organization to pick up bags to deliver to impacted community members. And also we're thinking through how to expand our home delivery grocery program, is because we know there's increased ICE activity. We want to make sure that people who are in need and are fearful of going to pantries, they have a point of access to receive groceries. So more to come on the logistics, but I'll be sure to communicate that once we have that done.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for bringing up the double crisis that we're in right now that affects the access, both like not having the literal money, but also the fear around this with ICE and potential National Guard. So thank you for bringing that up. Hannah. Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. Sorry.
Thanks. We've been receiving calls from clients expressing concerns about the loss of SNAP benefits. So we've been looking into ways to provide additional meals to those individuals who are most affected. Going to work with DOS on that. And then we're also seeing if there are ways that we can support our staff and their family as our funding allows, to make sure that, any impact to the community, we can mitigate it as much as possible.
Great. And Hannah's from Meals on Wheels. Katie.
Yeah, so we were, similar conversations at POH of, how can we support supplement when needed? And it sounds like really our focus, we serve both counties. So, we serve Alameda and San Francisco. So thinking about Alameda County as well, knowing that, the response from the city is so robust, and our focus will probably shift to, if there is a long-term need for this, how do we support long-term months of December and beyond? But Noriko, we would be happy to have a conversation too with you if there's anything from a support standpoint that we can provide. So.
Great, thank you. I can speak for EDSF, vouchers for veggies. We are prepared to issue emergency grocery vouchers should the need be. We are in the middle of a distribution that we do normally for November, December, and January. And so we are continuing our distribution and are prepared if there are some gaps. But again, not a lot of extra funding for groceries. Our program is oversubscribed, as you can imagine. So we all know, like, everybody needs, SNAP is it's just a little bit, the need still goes through the entire month. So we still have, so many folks needing food. So, but we are doing our best to get as many vouchers out there as we can. Other updates? Any of the city departments want to update? PT, it would be great if you could update on the latest on WIC as well.
Yeah, thanks, Sissy. For WIC, we got update from state a couple of weeks ago that we have funds to support families through November. It possibly go a little bit beyond that, but so far we are good through November, and yeah, we're just hoping for this shutdown to end soon.
Right. Other departments? Food Security Task Force agencies.
Hey, Sissy, this is Michelle with DCYF. Our program isn't impacted through November. We talked to our CDSS specialists and they said they're not impacted as of right now. So that's the update that I have.
Right. Thank you. Any other Food Security Task Force members want to comment on any plans? I know a lot of folks are doing a lot of planning that is getting luckily, didn't have to do right now. But again, we're not out of this yet because we don't know about December. And then again, the ongoing more human support needed just around all of the changes and confusion. Anyone else? Tiffany,
yeah, I mean,
Marion.
obviously, this is Tiffany, sorry. With DOS, I mean, obviously, we are working very, very closely with HSA as the lead agency, for, in the process of getting out those cards. And I just want to sort of take a second to give a shout out to all of our CBOs who have been so forthcoming with their support and offering to help. And we will certainly reach out as needs develop. But we are working very closely with HSA, and we'll keep everyone informed.
Thank you, Tiffany. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
not much more to add to what Tiffany just said. HSA is the lead on this, but we're definitely working closely and definitely want to make sure folks that are street-based homeless get the information, folks that are housed in PSH, folks that are in shelters, just making sure the information gets out across the board and continue the collaboration.
Great. Thank you, Marion. Really helpful. Okay, anyone else Food Security Task Force before I open it up for public comment? And again, there's a lot of information in the chat, so I'm not keeping up with all of it. Okay, Nick and then Veronica.
Thank you. Just a question, a clarifying question to Jennifer, mentioning for supper that, all food except one fruit. And was there something else that was mentioned that could be taken off site other than the one fruit?
Yeah, it has to be a shelf stable item. So like a graham cracker or something like that. We can't, for food safety reasons, and also the arcane rules, we can't allow families to take, for example, well, I didn't eat the sandwich, I'm going to take the sandwich home.
Okay. And to clarify, that is one fruit or shelf stable item or
Yeah.
one of each?
It's one food item, which is either fruit or a shelf stable item per meal. So if you're thinking about a child who is coming to school, they could take a piece of fruit from breakfast, a cracker from lunch, and then if they when they come to the supper program, they could take another piece of fruit home.
Gotcha.
Okay, Veronica.
Mine's is an announcement. Am I too early?
You can make is it on this topic?
Okay. It's on Feeding 5,000. So I don't know how many people
wait on
are
that because I just want to finish this topic
Yeah, no
before
problem. Okay,
yeah.
I just want to give people an opportunity to know about it. Okay.
Okay, great. Any other, this is again on the topic of potential impacts, planning and response. And again, I know that the CBOs on the ground have been managing all the folks coming to their doors, really and taking care of not only again looking for food supports, but also that human care. So much appreciated. Okay, anything else in terms of response? And again, we do have another Food Security Task Force meeting. It's our regular meeting next week, so we can talk a little bit more about this. This was a special meeting specifically around this. I'm going to, so I'm not seeing any more, there were some notes in the chat here that I don't know that we answered everything, like can the gift cards, are those cards be usable online for delivery? We don't know. So hopefully we'll get some answers to those when in part of that FAQ when the information gets out. Okay, so we are, I'm not seeing any more hands up or any more comments in the chat. So we're going to move on to our last item, which is, and I know we're running just a little bit late, the food security next steps and announcements. Again, we will have there's a lot going on around food security. And this is not the end of this mitigation plan, which is tremendous efforts by so many. So again, so much gratitude to go out to this. That we are already thinking ahead of the other potential SNAP cuts and other activities around food security in San Francisco. So, well, the next meeting is next Wednesday, 1:30 to 3:30. Opening it up right now. And again, there is a webinar that we will announce through our site. And again, if HSA, Susie left the sign-up sheet, so make sure to sign up for those information from HSA directly. Opening up to the general public for announcements. Veronica, this is where you come in.
Okay, I was trying to get my hand up. Thank you so much. Just to announce to everyone on the call, the Faith-Based Coalition is already preparing for Feeding 5,000. This is this annual Christmas giveaway that we partner with many of you on the call, and we're getting a lot of new organizations. We give out a really healthy produce box, turkeys. This year, we're actually trying to ascertain funds to give gift cards to even offset whatever other people want to buy along with the box. We also are asking for volunteers. It's on the December 13th. If your organization is interested in being a part of our weekly meetings to know all about the Feeding 5,000, how your organization can be involved, we only work with organizations. We do not work with individual people. Those organizations then inform us on how many households they want to pick up for, and they distribute to that population. We don't do that version. We also work very closely with U-Haul. They provide us a discount for any organization that wants to participate. I will put my email in the chat for those of you that are interested. Again, it's on December 13th. We're working very close with the mayor and our food bank partners. There's a lot of partnerships involved, and we know that the impact of this current political climate is not good, and we want to make sure that people are still covered and represented, and more to come. Thank you, Sissy.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up, and I'm not seeing any notes in the chat. Again, apologies if you had something in the chat that we missed. Thank you all for being here. I know we're 4 minutes over. Really appreciate all of your work and all of this work on the ground. There's much appreciation going around. Definitely more to come, though, as this is just a little bit of a reprieve, but we've still got a long way to go. So thank you all for being here, and let's keep supporting each other. Thank you.